putting moves on Russell. We're down to 2, now to 1. Here's Jordan. Yes! It is all over. The Chicago Bulls have won.
Michael Jordan was arguably the greatest athlete of all time, and yet he could not do it all by himself. His first 6 years, he did not win a championship. His first 3, he was in and out of the playoffs. First round, 4th year, they signed Scottie Pippen. They get Coach Jackson in '89, and Michael gets a new strength and conditioning coach, Grover. Those other pieces to the pie expanded his ability and produced better results. Now, in our culture, we have been trained to focus on how and in isolation. But in the book by Dan Sullivan, Who, Not How, we look to find the missing pieces in our lives that will elevate us to the next level. So let's get into what this book was about. So he breaks the book down into 4 parts. We got freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom of relationships, freedom of purpose. Now, when we think of how, like how do I do something or how can I make more money? Oftentimes we're thinking, okay, if I have to do A to get B, I have to work 1 hour to make $20. That is a linear type of thinking. Who thinking, though, on the other hand, is nonlinear, instantaneous, and exponential. Now, how, like if I want to substitute hours of my life for dollars, for example, if I have land I have to sell, I have to go move that land myself. There's only so many of me. I have to exchange my time for money. Whereas if I ask not how do I move these parcels faster by myself, but who can help me move these parcels, I think more in the exponential, the who type of thinking. And maybe I enlist the help of some agents and pay them a commission. And in that case, they're very happy to work for me. I'm happy to pay them. I don't have to do as much work. My bottom line is still going to go up. The margin might go down a little bit, but I'm removing myself. I'm able to do more efficient things. Another part of this section of the book talks about procrastination. Procrastination is not a good thing if you don't act. It is a sign that there's something at the heart that you want to do. And that's that bottom part where procrastination is a form of wisdom. Now, the number one regret of people on their deathbed is they never took steps to do what they truly wanted to do with their lives. So a lot of people think they know what they need to do. They're procrastinating on those items, so they know what they should be doing, but they don't act. And that's what causes the regret. Now, in terms of stories of people on their deathbed, I think a great book is Taking Stock by Jordan Grummett. I'm going to link that. He also wrote The Purpose Code, and just a very fascinating book on what people think about at the end of their lives. And the big takeaway is when you're stuck, it's a sign you need a new who. Don't ask how I learned this or how I learned that, but it should be who knows someone that can help me get to the next level, who can help me achieve my next goal. Now, be radically explicit about your goal. Share your vision, and you have to sell yourself, because if you sell the idea to yourself, if you do not believe in the idea, people will not follow you. You have to believe in the idea yourself. And being able to articulate and express your goals is one of the most important and fundamental skills necessary for success. Those are my key takeaways from this. But you have to be able to articulate what you're trying to get after, and that will attract people to help you pursue your goal. Now, freedom of money comes after freedom of time, and that when you create that buffer of time, you're able to do more things, you're able to operate more effectively, and you're able to make more money, or get more money, I should say. and think of who's as an investment, not a cost. This has been one of the hardest things I think for me to do a lot of throughout my life. It's seeing everything as an expense and not necessarily an investment where certain things, if I would have just paid on the front end, it would have saved me a bunch of time. And that's a sign that it's could potentially be an investment, not necessarily an expense. Decision fatigue is when you're trying to do too much and you have to make too many decisions. And if you can avoid decision fatigue, you can create a space and environment where you get to decide on more strategic type thinking and you get to basically become more effective. Now, winners like Michael Jordan commit to specific results, and results show what one is committed to. Now, this line in the middle of this chart, it was referred to as the risk line. Some people view time and effort as like a badge of honor. It's like, oh, I worked like 80 hours, I worked 90 hours, I worked 100 hours. But like, what did you actually achieve? And if you could achieve that same amount in 20 hours or 10 hours or 5 hours or totally remove yourself, I would say that is better because then it frees up your time to go work on other things. And as far as leading goes, a leader has to be clear about what done looks like. And if you can articulate what done looks like, is as long as they're not breaking law, I should say, you don't really care how the people that you outsource these things to get it done or the mechanics of how they're achieving the end result. And I like this line in the book, but if you have enough money to solve a problem, you don't have a problem. And I think it's important to perhaps put the caveat on not all problems can be solved with money. So, but then you would actually have a problem. So freedom of relationship, how to be good, how to be a good who for others. And instead of asking what's in it for me, you should be thinking about the other person. You should be thinking what's in it for them. If you can approach them with an opportunity, perhaps, and phrase it like what's in it for them, they might be more willing to work with you. So, and that kind of goes with the next point. Don't reach out to someone unless if you have something meaningful to offer them. And once you have time freedom, you have the space to seek clarity. Now, how to create effective collaborations. Support is attracted to purpose. So what does that? That means once you're clear on your goals, your purpose, the people that can help you get there are attracted to your willingness to go seek what you're looking to achieve. Your purpose, your goal, people will come and help you. That's the support. Now, freedom of purpose is the fourth stage. The people at the top are collaborating. They're not necessarily competing. When they make money, they're trying to find ways for their friends to make money. And if it's just like this crazy knock-on effect that it seems like the money just keeps following you. Now we were taught in school, and this was back to the beginning, like our culture is focused on like how and in isolation instead of being collaborative and in groups. But you don't want to be isolating your goals. You want to share your goals with everyone. You want to be explicit. You want to share them. There was a good story in the book about the gentleman that started Metallica, and in the beginning, he had just put in an ad in the paper basically saying that he wanted to jam, he wanted friends to jam with. And if you're interested in jamming and starting a band, if you want to go to the next level, I'm kind of, I'm looking to jam, I'm looking to create a band. Please reach out to me. And this next point is so competition comes from a scarcity mindset and ego, whereas collaboration is coming from an abundance mindset. You're collaborating with others. You're thinking you can grow the whole pie. And I like this line from Peter Thiel: competition is for losers. Now, who's expand your vision and purpose? They can help you. Well, once you have a buffer of time to work on other things. Those who's have now expanded what you think was possible. It's kind of like you're able to see a different level than what you were before. There was also a nice story in this book about Tolkien and Lewis, the great authors, how their friendship formed. I think it was at Oxford. And Tolkien was scared to share poetry. Lewis would read Tolkien's poetry and give him some feedback. And Lewis, on the other hand, needed help with his faith, and Tolkien helped him get back to Christianity. So that was just a way. And then I think that friendship basically allowed each of them to excel to a point that they would not have had they not had that feedback and that friendship. So once again, freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom of relationship, freedom of purpose. Not how do I do this, but who can help me achieve this? So with that, hopefully you enjoyed this episode where I summarized the book, Who Not How. Highly recommend it. I'm about to go read 10x is easier than 2x. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it if you did. And I will see you in the next episode.